Okay, here we are talking about how to find out the fixed rate for a plain vanilla interest rate swap and how to value it later. So that's our aim. And instead of explaining the concept here, let me start with an example directly. I have talked about it. The example will help you remind that concept, and if you can solve it yourself with me, it would really help. So let's take this example. You can note it down if you wish on your own so that you can solve it. Now consider a 1 year LIBOR. It's a 1 year LIBOR swap. That means on one side there is a floating rate and it is swapped with a quarterly payments priced at 6.052 percentage. This is swapped with a quarterly payments. Note the words I am using, quarterly payments, which are priced at the interest rate is 6.052%. This was done at initiation of quarterly payment, and at initiation the LIBOR 90-day, let's say, is given to be some number 5.5%. Okay. Now what is given to you is the annualized LIBOR rates. All LIBOR rates are annualized after 30 days. After 30 days have passed, the LIBOR rates are given to you, and let's take a notional principal amount of $30 million. Now you need to value the swap after 30 days. Okay, so LIBOR rates after 30 days have been passed is given in a table. So let me call it LIBOR 60-day, LIBOR 150. So table might contain a lot of LIBORs and you might be using some of them, not all of them. So it's a complete, you can say, a yield curve where the LIBOR is given for different times, different days. So 60, 150, 240, 330 days, and the LIBOR rates are simple: 6%, 6.5%, 7%, 7.5%. Let's call them rate in percentage annualized. You need to value the interest rate swap. It's a 1 year LIBOR swap with a quarterly payments. LIBOR 90 is given to be 5.5%. The quarterly payments will be at 6.052. Notional principal is $30 million. You need to value a swap after 30 days. That's important. I hope you remember the value of the swap at initiation is 0. I am here to value the swap after 30 days. Okay. Now first of all, before we actually value, can you explain based on the example what is happening in this swap? So just what is the current status of the swap, and then we'll talk about after 30 days what is the value of the swap. So the best way to look at what's happening in the swap, you need to create a timeline, and once you have created the timeline, we will move 30 days ahead in the timeline and try to value the swap. To really understand what is happening in the swap without even worrying about how to value, let's see this. There are two parties, A and B. Okay. The party A, let's say, pays 6% annual quarterly payments. When I say quarterly, it will come at time period 90, 3 months, right? 180, another 3 months. You keep adding 90, 270, and finally the next payment is going to be at 360. This is, I'm drawing at time 0. At time 0, A said, well, I'll be paying you a fixed rate at 6.052%, and B said, well, I'll be paying you LIBOR. Now this rate was decided in order to ensure that the value of the swap is 0 at time equal to 0. Okay. So value of the swap is 0. At time 0, the money that flows from A to B is a fixed rate, 6% at 4 points in quarter. It's a 1 year LIBOR swap. And whatever is the LIBOR rate at different points, 90, 180, 270, 360, whatever will be the rate, which is applicable, that coupons will get received by A. So that's the condition of the swap, and we are saying, well, 30 days have been elapsed. the coupon was supposed to be given, paid in fixed and received in floating after 90, 180, 270, 360. But we are here at this time right now after 30 days. Now how to value this swap? After 30 days have been elapsed means I need to compute the present value of the coupons right on each side after 30 days has elapsed, and remember the value of the swap was equal to the value of the fixed bond minus value of the floating bond. So I need to compute the remaining coupons, discount them on the fixed side, this is the fixed side, and I have to subtract the value of the coupons on the floating side, this side, and whatever is the difference will be the value of the swap either for the payer of the fixed or the payer of the floating. The guy who pays fixed or the guy who pays floating, either one of them might be gaining because the time has elapsed, the LIBOR rates have changed, and that can create positive or negative value in the LIBOR. With this background in mind, let me draw a timeline and let's see if you can make out of that timeline. This is the timeline, and at time 0 the swap value was 0. We are here at 30. So I'll say you are here sitting at 30 trying to find the value of the swap on 30th day. You know that after every quarter, that means at 90, 180, 270, and finally 360, at every quarter there will be an exchange of fixed with a floating payment. Now let's look from the fixed rate side first. The guy who is paying the fixed rate, what is happening to him? Now from the fixed rate side, the guy who is paying fixed rate, let's see what is happening. If I go back and try to see the values right here, he has to make a quarterly payment 6.052%. So right here, let me compute what happens with a 6.52%. A 6.052% annual is same as 6.052% 90 by 360 for a 90-day rate. So 90-day rate I can compute it to be 0.015 kind of thing. So let's call it 0.015, right? This is 0.05 or 0.15, 1.05%. So this is not in percentage, so I can say this is around 1.5%. 1.5%. Now I look at what is the notional dollars there. So there was a notional principal of $30 million. So I need to multiply by $30 million. I will do that later. All I'll say, this is 0.015 per dollar. If I multiply by any notional principal, it will be the total amount for that notional principal. So this will be the quarterly payout per dollar. 1.5% means $0.015, right? For every $1 of the notional principal, this will be the payout at time 90. This has to happen. So I say $0.015. Then I say same will come out of 180, same number, okay. Then after 270, after 360. So same has to be paid because it's a fixed rate side, they are paying same $0.015, $0.015. Now I need to find the present value of these numbers, right? At time 30, I know after 30 these are the fixed, after 60 plus 30, sorry, after 90 plus 30. So 30 days have been passed. So 60 days later the first will come out, and 60 and 90, which is 150 days later, another coupon will come out. Can you see that? I'm sitting here, so I have to get the present value of all these coupons to this point, 30th day. So I know these coupons absolutely are coming at 90 day from 0th, 180th day from 0th. But since 30 days have been elapsed, I need to find out the remaining time. Remaining time is what I'll put in green now. So the remaining time is 60 since I am already sitting at 30. The remaining time for this is 150. Why 150? Because 90 plus 30 is 150. Remaining time for this coupon